When we talk about the feasibility of property management, the main focus is on thoroughly assessing the asset before deciding to manage it. This step is crucial because it helps us understand the property's potential, challenges, and overall suitability for effective management. By carefully evaluating the asset upfront, we can make informed decisions and set realistic expectations, ensuring that the property management process is both efficient and successful. This approach lays a solid foundation for all subsequent actions in managing the property. Here, we're looking at the three key pillars of feasibility that guide our decision-making process. First, market analysis, which tests external conditions before we develop any strategy. It helps us answer the question, is demand strong enough to compete and perform in this market? Once we understand the market landscape, we move to property analysis. This pillar focuses on the asset itself, examining its physical condition, financial status, and legal considerations. The essential question here is, can this specific property support the opportunity we're pursuing? Finally, we have the management plan. This is where we take all the analysis and turn it into a practical roadmap for the owner's approval. It addresses the critical question, what actions will maximize value from this point forward? Each of these pillars builds on the previous one, creating a comprehensive approach to assessing feasibility from market conditions to property specifics to actionable management strategies. When conducting a market analysis, the first step in any feasibility study is to assess whether local demand can support both current and future supply. On the supply side, we look at the number of available units, new construction projects underway, and vacancy rates among similar properties. This helps us understand how much product the market currently has and anticipates additional inventory coming in. On the demand side, we track the depth of renters or tenants, absorption trends showing how quickly units are leased, and the local economic factors driving that demand. A crucial part of this process is analyzing the market rent signal, essentially comparing rent levels across competing properties to gauge realistic pricing potential. Strong demand paired with a supply that isn't overwhelming creates a favorable environment for property performance. It's important to really know the neighborhood and market dynamics before finalizing any property management plans or investment decisions. This focus on the interplay between supply, demand, and market signals gives us a clear picture of feasibility. Let's take a closer look at the competitive landscape assessment for our subject property. The key to feasibility depends heavily on how this property compares to others in terms of price, positioning, and overall performance. The core question we're addressing is, why would a tenant choose this property over nearby alternatives? We have a direct comparison set of three properties. First, Comp A, which commands the highest rents in the submarket. Its strengths lie in premium amenities and newer finishes, setting a ceiling for achievable rates and defining the upper boundary for our pricing strategy. Next is our subject property, which sits in the middle of the market. Its strengths include a balanced location and a solid mix of cost and service potential. Here lies a crucial opportunity. By focusing on excellent management and tenant retention, we can differentiate ourselves in a meaningful way. Finally, Comp B offers lower asking rents and competes primarily on affordability. While this poses a risk if our value proposition isn't clear, it also reminds us that pricing must remain disciplined to maintain competitiveness. This competitive analysis clearly outlines where our property can succeed and emphasizes the importance of strategic pricing and management to ensure feasibility in this market. Now, let's dive into the physical evaluation aspect of property analysis. First, we assess the condition of the property, looking closely at the structure, finishes, any deferred maintenance, and the overall curb appeal. This gives us a clear sense of how well the property has been maintained and its attractiveness to potential tenants. Next, we review the key systems, such as HVAC, plumbing, electrical, safety, and their operating reliability. This step helps us identify any issues that could affect functionality or incur unexpected costs. We also evaluate the amenities, which are crucial because they directly support tenant demand, influence pricing, and help with tenant retention. Understanding which features add value is essential. Finally, throughout this process, we keep a strong focus on the feasibility of property management. Essentially, we inspect the factors that drive the property's performance, ensuring that managing it will be practical and profitable over time. This comprehensive evaluation helps us make informed decisions and prioritize efforts that truly impact value. Here, we're focusing on the critical aspects that determine the feasibility of property management. First, on the financial side, we look closely at income and expenses, which are essential to understand the profitability of the property. Rent roll and delinquency are also key factors, as they directly affect cash flow and stability. Additionally, budget and cash flow projections help us plan for ongoing and future expenses. On the legal front, we need to consider leases and their specific clauses, which govern tenant relationships and responsibilities. Zoning and compliance issues could impact how the property can be used or modified, so clarity on these is crucial. Finally, liens, permits, and any ongoing litigation must be reviewed to assess any legal risks or encumbrances. Bringing these financial and legal elements together gives us a comprehensive view of the property's management feasibility. It helps ensure that both the economic and regulatory environments are suitable for successful property operations. Now, let's walk through the process of building an effective management plan. It starts with Step 1, Research. Here, we gather all the essential evidence, looking closely at economic conditions, understanding tenant demand, and identifying the unique facts and constraints of the property. This forms the foundation for informed decisions. Next is Step 2, Analysis. This is where we dive deeper by comparing supply and demand in the market, benchmarking against competitors, and pinpointing both risks and opportunities. Essentially, we're interpreting the data to understand what it really means for our property. Moving on to Step 3, Strategy. With our insights in hand, we set clear leasing goals, prioritize operational tasks, plan value-add actions, and choose the best path forward to maximize performance and returns. Finally, Step 4, Documentation. This step is about defining a realistic budget and timeline, assigning responsibilities to team members, preparing a thorough presentation for the property owner, and packaging everything neatly for approval. This ensures everyone is aligned and ready to execute. Overall, this structured roadmap helps us translate market findings and property realities into actionable steps, ensuring the feasibility and success of property management. When presenting to the owner, it's crucial to ensure they clearly understand the evidence, the strategy, and the overall value of the management plan. Our goal is to turn detailed analysis into approval by following 3 key steps. First, we explain the market and property findings clearly, so the owner sees the facts and data behind our recommendations. Next, we connect these recommendations directly to performance outcomes, showing how each suggestion will improve results. Finally, we work to secure the owner's buy-in, which is essential to actually implementing the plan successfully. In short, the aim is to move from analysis straight into action, gaining approval by demonstrating the feasibility and benefits of the property management approach. This approach ensures a smooth transition from planning to execution. When we talk about maximizing property value, it's important to understand that value increases when a manager effectively improves income, controls risk, and protects occupancy. One key area is revenue optimization, which involves aligning rents, amenities, and lease terms with what the current market demands. This ensures you're getting the most income possible without driving tenants away. Another crucial factor is tenant retention. By focusing on satisfaction, encouraging lease renewals, and reducing turnover, you stabilize your cash flow, making your income more predictable and reliable. Expense control also plays a big role. The goal here is to cut down avoidable operating costs without compromising the quality of service or the condition of the asset itself. Ultimately, higher net operating income, or NOI, doesn't come from quick fixes but from a series of interconnected decisions across these areas. It's about balancing and aligning all these aspects to keep the property performing at its best. Here we see a clear example of market feasibility in action. By conducting a thorough feasibility review, the team was able to implement a market-led repositioning strategy that directly translated into significant gains. Notice the impressive results: occupancy reached 95%, average rent increased by 12%, and net operating income, or NOI, jumped by 18%. The key takeaway here is the alignment of supply, demand, and asset condition before execution. By making sure these factors were in sync, the property's performance improved quickly and sustainably. This case really highlights how critical a feasibility review is in guiding property management decisions for maximum impact. The key takeaway here is that feasibility transforms property management from just an assumption into a concrete strategy. First, it's crucial to read the economy before the asset itself. Understanding general business conditions and real estate trends sets the context for every decision you make. Second, validating the market is essential. You need to assess supply, demand, rent levels, and competition to determine if there's a real opportunity. Third, diagnosing the property itself is important. This means looking closely at its physical condition, financial status, and any legal factors that might pose constraints. Finally, you must turn all of this analysis into an approved management plan. A strong, well-supported plan builds owner confidence and ultimately drives the property's value forward. To continue building on what we've covered, the next steps focus on deepening your knowledge and reinforcing key concepts. Start by reviewing the required Chapter 2 reading, which provides essential insights into our topic. Then, explore the supplemental article titled Conducting Feasibility Studies, Assessing Market Rent for Investment Properties, to see practical applications. There's also a helpful video, Feasibility Mastery, Unlock Secrets to Property Development, that offers valuable expertise in an engaging format. Finally, take advantage of the optional practice resources, like the flashcards for Unit 2 feasibility concepts, to test yourself and solidify your understanding. By following these steps, you'll strengthen your grasp of feasibility in property management and investment.